Hey guys, I'm still in the process of setting up my van and getting some mod cons to make my life a bit more comfortable. Currently on the hunt for a phone holder. So if you're fed up of buying cheap tat that doesn't perform as it should and breaks before it should, then stay tuned. I'm looking for something that is good quality, reasonable price, universal to all phones, reliable, and doesn't block the view of the road, most importantly. Now, there's many different types of phone holder out there. They come in various flavors, from magnetic to clamping to locking, and there's various locations you can place them in the vehicle. So I'll take you through those now. So we've got the windscreen, which unfortunately, if you read a lot of the reviews, everybody complains about the fact that the sun gets so hot in the summer and it melts the rubber, and every single one, even the top quality ones, fall off when the rubber melts. So I think that's impractical. Rear view mirror just is nuts because it's blocking your view. I wouldn't recommend that. Heating vent. Now, as long as you don't destroy your vent, which I've done before, then that's a good option. It's at the right height. The speedo shroud, or maybe your infotainment shroud, as long as it's not, again, blocking too much of your view, that might be an option. Dashboard, anywhere on the dashboard really. CD player, it's a bit crazy, especially if the CD player is hidden and it's just going to, I don't know, I guess if you're not playing CDs, it's fine, but it seems a bit weird. And then attaching it to your steering wheel, I mean, that's just completely bonkers, isn't it? Right, anyway, let's look at the more practical ones. If you can stick to a system, then by all means do. I'm a big fan of Quad Lock. I have some of their other devices. But the only problem with this one is that it looks, I mean, it's really solid, looks well built, but it still has that rubber connector there that glues to the window screen, and in the summertime it's just going to melt and fall off. Reviewers have said that about this, so it's no different to any others. I just find that totally irritating. The other thing, of course, is that if nobody else has got Quad Lock and you want to let them drive your car or use their phone, you can't connect it to it, so that's another downside. They do a vent mount, which looks really well engineered, but again, for 35 quid for that, when you can get other ones for like a fiver, and it's not universal. Yeah, so go for it if you want, but I'm going to skip that one this time. This one I quite like, again, really simple, just a little case that just sticks on top of your dash like that, and cheap, just stick your phone in. The only problem is you can't put it vertically, and I tend to like to see my screen in vertical mode when I'm doing the sat-nav, so for me that's probably not going to work, but maybe for you. This one, what's neat about it is it clips somewhere where you wouldn't normally think to clip something, on top of the shroud over your speedo. You can see the steering wheel there. I think in my case it's going to be too high, so maybe if your shroud over the speedo is a lot lower, it's fine, but for me it's going to stick too high above the steering wheel and block my view. This one I really like because it's just so simple. It's a very similar concept, but if you've got a small enough phone like an old iPhone or anything like that, you can put it vertical, and it just literally sits in there like that. You just fold it open and plonk it in, and it holds it pretty tight, and then it glues to your dash or whatever else you want to fix it to. Cheap as chips. I'm liking that. This one, I just think it's really good quality. It's one of those stiff steel arms. I've had devices like this before. They last for years. I don't think it's going to break. And it's got a nice phone holder with a support at the bottom, which is really important, I think, when it shakes around. If it doesn't have the support at the bottom, it's going to fall out, I guarantee it. This one, finally, basically the same concept, but it's got an extendable arm, but it's all plastic. Looks neater, but I think it's just going to break over time. The benefit is, of course, for as cheap as it is, it actually comes with a vent hook as well. So you get two for the price of one. Right, let's order up some of these and try them out. Okay, so I'm going to start off with this clip one, which I really like. It's such a simple design, and it's just the angle, unfortunately, on my van, but for you it may work out better if you've got a slightly flatter top there, or maybe you could put it there. But the problem for me is that I like to have the sat nav that way around, so I can see further down the road. But if for whatever other reason you wanted your phone like that, it's a really, really good option. So cheap, so simple, and it's got a slightly curved surface on the bottom. I'll put a bit of blue tack on there now just to play around with it, but it comes with a R3M, so it's going to be good quality sticky pad, so you can attach that to anywhere you want really. I mean, that's not a bad location. I just really not that keen on having anything within my eye line of the road. You know, I just like to be able to see. I don't want anything blocking that. That's like right in my eye line. So I don't like these ones that clip on here, unless your shroud here around your dials is much lower. To me, that sits like right up in my eye line, so I don't like that one. So the problem for this is it's just there's nowhere in my van to fit it, but I think it's a really good option. Right, so now we've got this one which is on a flexible arm, which you can see if I can pan around to the side, and you can see it's got a little clip which I haven't fixed on, but that's probably because it's got multi-levels on my dash, which is quite hard to sort of figure out with my massive phone how I'm going to actually pin that down. But anyway, I'm just playing around with it at the moment. I don't want to stick it yet. And I'm certainly not going to stick it to the windscreen for reasons I mentioned before, because it will heat up and it will melt and probably fall off. Whereas if it starts to heat up too much in the summer on the actual dash, like on here, because it's black especially, at least it's not going to fall down. It will just maybe become a bit loose and you have to reattach it. So I think that's the way I'm going to set it up, is stuck to the dash. And yeah, this one gives you a lot of flexibility. I do really like it. It's in a great position. I really want it in the far right hand corner. It's out of my view of the windscreen. So yeah, this one looks good. Let's try the final one. Okay, so this one I quite like as well. There's not much to choose between them, to be honest. It's just the other one has got a much longer reach, and I think the problem for me is that because this is all a sort of weird 3D curved surface, I'd actually probably want to mount it here so that I know it will get a good suction on there. I think this is too curved, but yeah, it works pretty well. The extension arm moves back and forth really easily, and the holder is good as well. As I mentioned before, you know, you want some prongs at the bottom and on the side, so make sure it holds your phone well. Some of them don't have the prongs at the bottom. And the other good thing about this one, it actually comes with an additional accessory, which is this hook. As you rotate that, the hook will move in and out. It'll get shorter or longer. So we want it all the way out. And then you pop it in wherever you think suitable. It's quite hard to get out, but it's pretty easy to get in. You just have to bend the blade slightly to get it out. But anyway, I'm going to wind that in now. And that, I have to say, is rock solid. So now I'm going to attach the back plate to it and the phone. Okay, I'm actually really pleased with that. That is a really super simple solution. And I'll take you around the back so you can have a better look. And you can see that that clamp is now fixed into the bracket that holds the phone. It's solid as anything to the air vent, and it's not going to damage it like my last one, which is great. The only downside is that it moves obviously with the vent, but you know, and then you can close the vent off so that if you run the heater, you won't be heating up your phone. I guess the only thing is, because it is a bit of a faff to take on and off, if you want to heat your van or your vehicle, you're just going to have to forego one heater, but then you've probably got 3 or 4 in the car. So yeah, I think that's a pretty good solution. Now, at some point you may want to remove the phone holder because you changed vehicles or it's fallen off or the pad needs renewing, and you can actually buy replacement pads for these. They are in the region of about 70 to 80 centimeters in diameter, or you can get square ones. But in any case, all you have to do is replace the pad and you'll get much more life out of this phone holder. You can continue to use it. Now, of course, you're going to have the old residue to deal with, and the way you're going to get rid of that is dissolving it with a solvent such as methylated spirits, surgical spirit, or isopropyl alcohol. All of these things are pretty readily available from your local DIY store or chemist. Anyway, guys, that is it for this video. You've got 3 good options: one that fixes to the vent, one that fixes to the shroud, and one that fixes to your dash, preferably in the corner. I'll post a link in the description to all the products I've reviewed. And I hope this helps you make a good choice on a product that's going to last you a long time, that you can take with you from vehicle to vehicle, and not choose some cheap tat that's going to break on you and eternally frustrate you. and of course be no good for the planet. Anyway, please join me on the next video all about sustainability, permaculture, fixing things, EVs and so on. And if you like the video, please hit the like button, it does help my channel, and subscribe if you haven't done so already. We'll see you on the next one. Cheers, bye.